If you're hearing this after midnight, close every other tab. Seriously, I wish someone had told me that before last night. There's a website you cannot find during the day. Search engines never index it. Bookmarks fail. Screenshots disappear as if they were never taken. Still, thousands of people swear they've seen it, then spend years trying to prove it exists. I laughed every time I heard those stories. I called them creepypasta, internet folklore, late-night paranoia. Then midnight came, and my screen loaded something that shouldn't have been possible. I'm not going to introduce myself, because names matter more than you think. Just don't pause this video after midnight. That's when it notices. There are parts of this story I'm still refusing to tell. It all started with one anonymous comment nobody else seemed to notice. A week before everything happened, I was wasting another sleepless night scrolling through an old Reddit thread about forgotten internet mysteries. Most of it was exactly what you'd expect. Fake screenshots, broken links, recycled ghost stories, and people arguing over whether anything online ever truly disappears. Then I noticed a reply from a deleted account. It contained only one sentence. Search this exact address at 12 a.m. Below it was a string of random letters, numbers, and symbols that looked more like corrupted code than a website. People mocked it relentlessly. One user called it an elaborate joke. Another claimed it was malware. Someone even bet money that the domain didn't exist. Hours later, I refreshed the thread. Every reply was gone. The deleted account was gone. The entire conversation had vanished, leaving only a few archived screenshots floating around obscure forums. I spent weeks chasing them, checking domain records, archive databases, and DNS history. Nothing. It was as though the address had never existed. Then, one night, the clock struck exactly midnight. I copied the strange address into my browser. My phone buzzed. My friend answered on the second ring. "You're joking, right?" I swallowed hard, staring at the screen. "No, it's loading." He laughed nervously. "Nice try." The call disconnected before I could answer. I called back immediately. Straight to voicemail. He never returned another call, never replied to another message, and never logged into anything again. I should have closed the tab the second it loaded. Instead of showing a homepage, the website already knew why I came. The page opened without a loading screen. It was completely black. No logo. No advertisements. No search bar. No menu. Nothing except a single line of white text sitting perfectly in the center. "Welcome back." Every muscle in my body locked. Back. I'd never been there before. I knew I hadn't. I checked my browser history almost obsessively. I'd never seen that address, never clicked anything like it, never even heard its name until the Reddit comment. Yet the page greeted me like an old friend returning home. Before I could move the mouse, another sentence appeared. "You took longer this time." I whispered, "What?" The text disappeared. New words formed instantly, as though someone were listening. "You still talk to yourself when you're nervous." A cold wave rolled through my chest. Then the page began listing things no website should have known. My childhood nickname. A folder of deleted photographs I had erased years ago. Passwords I'd changed in high school. A recurring dream I'd never told another person about. A hallway with doors that refused to stay closed. Then came something impossible. Entire conversations replayed across the screen. Arguments I'd only held silently in my own head. Apologies I never spoke aloud. Questions I never typed anywhere. I pushed back from my desk. "This isn't real." The website answered immediately. "Neither was your certainty." More text appeared. "Your phone will ring in 5 minutes." I checked the clock. 4 minutes and 58 seconds later, my phone rang. Unknown number. I didn't answer. The screen updated. "The lights will flicker next." 3 minutes later, the room plunged into darkness before returning as if nothing had happened. My breathing became shallow. Then another message appeared. "Someone will knock 3 times." I stared toward my apartment door. Knock. A pause. Knock. Another pause. The final line appeared. "Do not answer the third knock." I wish I had listened. The third knock echoed through the apartment. Against every instinct, I unlocked the door. Nobody stood outside. Only a trail of wet footprints stretched down the hallway, disappearing around the corner without returning. When I closed the door, the apartment felt different. Quieter. Heavier. The cursor began moving on its own. Without my touch, It clicked a hidden symbol buried in the corner of the page. A new screen opened. Its title read, Previous Visitors. Thousands of names filled the page. Some had dates. Some had photographs. Most ended with a single word. Missing. I scrolled until my stomach tightened. My own name wasn't at the bottom. Yet, the deeper I explored, the stranger the rules became. The deeper I clicked, the less the website resembled anything built by human hands. Every page looked identical, black background, white text, but each one revealed another warning, almost like instructions left behind by people who had barely survived. Never refresh. Never say your own name aloud. Ignore whispers behind you. Do not look away during loading screens. If the timer reaches 0, close your eyes. I actually laughed. A dry, nervous laugh. Because obviously haunted websites come with user manuals. The sound died almost immediately. Something whispered behind me. Not loudly. Just enough to make me wonder whether I'd imagined it. I refused to turn around. Instead, I stared at my monitor. For a split second, the dark screen reflected someone standing directly behind my chair. I spun around. Nothing. Empty apartment. Silent hallway. When I faced the monitor again, a large countdown had appeared. 10. A second disappeared. 9. My pulse pounded in my ears. 8. The cursor froze. A hidden chat window slid open across the bottom of the page. Only one username appeared. No profile picture. No timestamp. One message blinked onto the screen. You're reading this too late. Before I could type anything back, the chat vanished. The connection icon turned red. Everything disconnected at once. Internet. Phone signal. Even the clock on my desktop stopped moving. Only the countdown continued. Each number felt slower than the last. Each second made the room colder. Then the page returned exactly as before, except one warning had disappeared. In its place was a sentence I have never repeated. There was one final rule. I've never told anyone. Breaking that final rule changed everything. The countdown reached 0. The monitor went completely black. I expected my reflection to disappear with it. Instead, it stayed. At first, it mirrored every movement I made. Then it stopped. I raised my hand. My reflection didn't. It just stood there, staring back at me. Slowly, impossibly, it smiled. I didn't. Every speaker connected to my computer crackled at once. A whisper drifted through the room. Look behind you. Every instinct screamed at me to turn around. I refused. My phone vibrated against the desk. One new message. No number. No app. Just 4 words. It already did. The lights exploded back to life. The whispering stopped. The monitor returned to my desktop as though nothing had happened. The website was gone. My browser history was empty. No cache. No cookies. No record I'd ever visited anything at all. I convinced myself it was over. Until the following night. At 11:59 p.m., my computer clock froze. The next second, it skipped straight to 12:13 a.m. It has done that every single night since. Eventually, I called the police after hearing footsteps inside my apartment. An officer searched every room before stopping beside my desk. Sir, who were you talking to? I thought I was alone. He stared at me for several seconds, then quietly walked out without another question. The horror no longer lived online. It had crossed into my life. The website never came back. I wish that were true. Months passed quietly until my phone lit up with a notification. No sender. No app. Just one sentence. Someone opened it because of you. That's when I understood. The story spreads the website, just like that forgotten Reddit comment found me. If you've listened this far, I'm sorry. So let me ask you one question. What time is it where you are? If you've ever found a website that vanished, watched a page change at midnight, or think a site could know everything about you, tell me below. If the website finds you tonight, don't stay past 12:13. There are dozens of stories like this. This is only the first case, and the others are much worse. Refresh. Months later, one notification changed everything.